All right. What's going on, everybody? Let's see some cameras going. I see a few faces here. I see Hevish. I see Otilia. What's going on? Viviana, Alexandre. I see iPhone. Hello, iPhone. Caleb. I see Megan. I see another Megan. I'm seeing double today, clearly. So cool. We got some faces. Come on. I thought I was going to be speaking in front of champions today. So I thought I'd be seeing cameras. Tisk. What a shame. Okay, there we go. We woke everybody up. Hello, Zoom user Daniel, Michelle, Jeanette. Hello, everybody. Okay, cool. So let's get things started. For those of you that are here on time, this says a lot about you because we put this on every week for all of you as extra value. Now, one of the beauties of what we do is we're able to do things remotely. So my apologies in advance for the noise behind me. I'm at a burger place here because I'm able to work as I go and then continue my day, just basically prospecting and talking to people. So that's one of the things we can do working remotely, which all of you have access to. It's not going to happen overnight. Now, with that being said, I want to also establish the framework here. I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Just because we put these on every week for all of you as extra value, that doesn't mean that this is the only place that you can learn. This is not the only place that you have access to education. I mean, as much as I can say that I have a lot of experience and I love the things that I share, you need to understand that all of us here, including myself, we are not the experts. A lot of us have become professionals in different categories, in different fields, except for like Abid and Joseph, they are the experts. So unless it's them talking and the people on the Learn Lives, none of us are experts, and you don't need to burden yourself with becoming an expert. Why do I share this? Because in the back office, all of us have access to what's called Learn Live. Okay, and I just want to establish that. If you want to learn trading and investing and you are not accessing Market Pro, if you're not accessing your back office, if you're not accessing the Learn Live sessions, don't complain later when you have no results. Okay, I'm just going to say that right now up front. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. It's your chance to leave now. So let's get things started. Who's ready to learn the fundamentals of crypto today? Drop some ones in the chat if you're ready for the fundamentals. I see a hand go up, but that's not a one. I love the enthusiasm and I love the energy. I'm glad that you're on camera, but I want to see some ones. Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. So everybody awake, everybody's tuning in from different places. I know that we're all international. So let me get this going for all of you, because to understanding crypto, I'm going to share my slides here. When it comes to understanding crypto, we all need to be on the same page. I'm going to try to keep this as beginner friendly as possible. At the same time, I want to make it so that everybody can correlate it to what's happening in the markets today with the reality. Okay, so this is the Crypto Foundation 101, and I say 101 because this is down to the very, very basics. If you can understand this, you can build from it. And by the way, I didn't just magically learn this. As much of a mind reader as I can be, all of this is where, you guessed it, in your back office, and we all have access to this information. This is just kind of a way of adding extra value. So it's in the Learn Live in your back office. You can learn live with live experts. You have access to Crypto Core. This is, of course, for those selected above. If you're on choice, then you don't have access to this. So make sure you upgrade if you want to learn more about crypto, but work your way up there so you have access to all of these. Because when it comes to the crypto market and all the different things that we have access to, the different markets like stock market, Forex, binary trading, all those things, each one is a journey in of itself. So let's start with the basics here. When it comes to money, this is real money. I just want to make things clear. A lot of us hold, US dollar. A lot of us hold Canadian dollar. A lot of us hold crypto, this, that, stocks. What you're looking in front of you is real money. Does anybody know what this is? Type it in the chat. And don't write bullion because you're cheating. Write what you're looking at in the chat. Let's see. Gold and silver, exactly. So this is exactly what it is. It's the test of time. Real gold, real silver is real money. This is why this is you'll see that this is what moves the markets. This is what nations today are still after. Nothing has changed. Slavery hasn't gone anywhere. Gold and silver hasn't gone anywhere. All of these things are still around. They just look different, okay? And there's a reason why we don't get taught to trade and use gold and silver. For those that were on the Wealth Summit, you've heard me talk about gold and silver and how important it is. And I truly believe that if you understand how this works and how it's been working and how it still affects our day to day, that you can understand crypto and how important it is for you to understand crypto and start using it if you haven't already. Okay, and the reason for this is because when it comes to crypto and precious metals and the current US dollar, this is how it works. And I'm just gonna do a quick crash course. Before, it used to be precious metals, and then they moved on to what were called bank notes. And yes, we will get to crypto, I promise. It moved on to what were called bank notes. Before they were called dollars, before they were called cash, before it was called, bills. And what it was $1, one US dollar was the equivalent to 1 silver ounce. As you can see right there, there's a reason why there's a double picture of a US dollar. If you look in, I don't know if I can zoom in here. It might be kind of blurry. You can't really zoom in, but it says on the bottom $1 bill, it says, if you exchange this dollar, you basically get 1 ounce of silver. So $1 was equal to 1 ounce of silver. And with $20, 1 ounce of gold was the equivalent to $20 US. Okay, so the ratio here is 1 to 20. 1 silver dollar to a $20 ounce of gold. Are we following so far? Type a yes in the chat. If you're following so far, if I haven't lost you, let me know, drop a yes, so I know to move to the next step. Because if I lose you here, then, hasta la vista, see you later, baby. So, okay, so here, this is the basics of what has been happening. What happened was when they decided to crash the Titanic with all the people in there, whatever, conspiracy nuts. What happened was, once they did that, they basically sunk that ship with all the bankers that were against taking the US dollar off of what was called the gold standard. And this allowed the current banking system to basically thrive and be allowed to print more dollars than they had gold and silver, which basically meant that they can make endless amounts of money. Why do you think whenever it's time to talk about the debts and all that stuff of the US, what do? They raise what's called the debt ceiling. When they raise the debt ceiling, they just basically push the bar down the line. Right? Imagine if you had a due date and it's due to raise the debt ceiling. Let's just raise the due date. So instead of it tomorrow, don't worry about it. It'll just be due next week. It'll just be due next month. You'll never have to pay it. Imagine if your bills were like that. Imagine if, your phone bill came and it's 6 months behind. It's like, you know what? I'll just raise the due date till next year. See, they get to play with money. They get to play with the rules. They get to make the rules, but we don't. We have to play by rules that they don't follow themselves. What have you heard when recessions have happened? I'm just going to come back here just to deliver this point. When recessions have happened and banks are failing and corporations are failing, what do they do? What do they look for? A bailout. You see, they get to gamble all of our money away, all of our assets away in the casino of corporations. And when you lose your money, they say, okay, well, now that you have no money, you're going to have to pay the money back plus interest. So you're more screwed than you were. But then they get to basically play roulette on the corporation side. So they're never held accountable to any of this stuff. So when it comes to money, how is it that this plays into the cryptocurrency world? So how it's going to work is like this. You're going to have to understand, and I'll show you this in a second. When it comes to crypto, so now that you understand that there's US dollar, there's gold and silver, which is still used today, by the way. For those that were on the Wealth Summit, you saw I showed you I've been dollar cost averaging gold and silver since 2014 all the way up until 2020. And the only reason I stopped in 2020 is because the moment the pandemic hit, precious metals dealers were not selling gold and silver. You understand? And the reason why they weren't selling it is because they knew it was not the time to sell it, because that's when things were crashing. You see, they know the game. You don't know the game. They're playing you. All of you have been players, and now all of you are becoming the users in this. You're all going to be on the understanding side of the game that's being played. So if you understand gold and silver, you understand that the US dollar means nothing nowadays. And if it was not evident to you before, if you're not paying attention to the news right now, it's even more evident. It's in your face. All of this has been basically lurking in the background for decades. And now it's just finally like, ta-da, look at Russia, China, and all these nations coming together. Look, we're not going to trade with the US dollar anymore. Surprise. But if you start to rewind the clock back, isn't it funny how, in Dubai, Middle East, how they've been building this multi-billion dollar complexes, and all of us are sitting here like, what do you need a multi-billion dollar ski resort for? I don't get it. What do you need more islands for? I don't get it. Like, how many people could there possibly be there? Like, how many rich people could there possibly be that you need another multi-billion dollar mall? What's been happening is they have known, because they control the oil, and the US dollar was no longer backed by precious metals, it's been backed by oil. And since the Middle East knows that, like, okay, well, we need our oil for dollars are going to be worthless. There's no point in hanging on to dollars if we know that this is going to be basically monopoly money. So what can we do with it? The next best thing, since the US doesn't have gold and silver anymore, then you're going to see how this ties into crypto and why you need to be on top of this. So they thought to themselves, well, this is just paper money. It's useless. And we know what we're about to do because they're playing chess. So let's exchange this for resources. To build these mega complex things, what do you need? You need wood, you need metal, you need aluminum, you need all of these resources that they can stockpile. Yeah, we're going to build more malls and whatever. We're just going to order resources from everybody. Here's the US dollars, no problem. You want it in double, triple? Oh, the price premium's gone up, no problem. We'll pay it all. They don't care. Because now they have all the resources that the rest of the world is going to need when the next phase comes in. I don't mean to be a fear monger. It's just, if you understand chess, and I've been following this since way before 2014, I'm just watching it all unfold. So all of you are ahead of everybody else, because how this plays into crypto is the fact that fast forward to now, everything that I just shared, if you look, there's the power struggle of what the next currency is. Notice that they're not talking about crypto. Notice that the US is talking about a different currency, which just became active, by the way. Their system just became active April 1st, and it was not an April Fool's joke. Russia has been putting legislation in since way before last year. I made a YouTube video on it last year. China has already had their own currency, and you can go to the store. They don't really have paper money. You go to the store, you show your pass. It's like a COVID pass, hence why conspiracy nuts who are against COVID passes, I don't care if you believe in it or not, the whole pass thing was to transition into a form of controlled digital currency. Now, next phase of what's coming is their form of digital currency, which China just announced, how it's going to be with a due date. So imagine if you got paid from your work, you got paid your salary, and you have it in your savings account. What China has implemented, and this is what you're trying to push to the rest of the world, you need to understand, because it's going to go hand in hand with crypto. With China, there's a due date on your money. Unless you are wealthy and you have things in place, imagine if you're like trying to save up for a house and your money expires in a year. They're going to force you, and I don't know if it's a year time limit, but there is a time limit on your money. If you don't spend it, it's gone. So imagine you're trying to save, but you can't save enough for your investments. Who's going to win in that system? Not you, because you don't have control. They will be able to see every transaction, who you exchange money with and why, what associations you have with them, because there's no physical paper. There's no gold and silver. So they have all these legislations in place to basically say, hey, crypto is too scary. Look at what happened with the collapse that happened a few times with the exchanges, because there's been more than one. Look at what happened there. Oh, you can't trust it. It's decentralized. No one can control it. It's being manipulated. People are scamming too much over there. It's only for criminals. all of these negative things that they say, the more the government tells you not to do something, the higher probability it is that you should do the opposite. You understand? When has the government ever been in your favor? The government has been put in place for us to tell them what to do, not them tell us what to do. So when something like crypto comes along, and you're going to see how it works, crypto basically takes the power back into individuals' hands. I can send $1 million to Attilia. I know she'd receive it right away. She'd be like, hey, thank you, see you later. And it would be like the most fractional of a fee for me to send that to her, to send it to anybody here. And us on the team, we've exchanged crypto amongst each other. With crypto, all of us have sent money to each other, no problem. But talk about, let's say, making a purchase or sending money to each other. Oh, you're in Canada, you're in the States. Oh no, we don't have that system. We can't send it. It's gonna have to be a wire transfer. Oh, in Canada, we have e-transfer. In the States, you guys have 1,000 banks. Venmo me, Cash App me, and all these things all of you guys go crazy for. These are the different things that block us, because they are centralized, meaning that they have control. So this new digital currency that they're trying to push out is a centralized currency, central backed digital currency, CBDC. So you need to focus on decentralized currency, which is crypto, and why you don't want to have it on an exchange. You can start off with an exchange, but as you get into it, you're going to see why you need to have it on your own wallet. So to understand how crypto works, it's like this. Okay, so we're going to start from the basics here, so we're all on the same page. Is everybody following me so far? Drop a 1 in the chat if you're still following me, because I wanted to make sure we all had the fundamentals of money and currency, because it's called cryptocurrency. So if we're not going to be talking about physical money, you have to understand where the currency came from and where it's going. Okay, so read it with me. Bitcoin, BTC, a cryptocurrency, a virtual currency designed to act as money and a form of payment outside the control of any one person, group, or entity, thus removing the need for third-party involvement in financial transactions. For those that didn't understand what this means there's no banking system. You understand? There's no governments that can control this. Not one person can take this away from you. When the trucker rally was happening in Canada, and the communist prime minister here was basically saying how they want to like stop transactions. They tried to get the crypto exchanges to block transactions on the crypto exchanges, and the exchanges said, we can't do that. That's not how crypto works. You understand? The government had zero control. They were able to freeze bank accounts, and they did in Canada. If you were found associated, involved with, attending, sending money to the trucker convoy, a peaceful protest, regardless of if you liked it or not, it doesn't matter how you felt about it. The fact that they were able to stop payments, transactions, and money being sent to anybody involved means that the government was flexing that if they don't like something you're doing, see in the UK too, and in Australia as well, by the way, it means that if the government deemed that they didn't like something that you were doing, they had full control over your money and your livelihood. Imagine you've been saving and they freeze your bank account because you're defending your country, because you're defending your family, because there was an actual injustice. And they said, you know what, that goes against our agenda. We're just going to freeze your account and screw you over. With Bitcoin, they have zero control over that because it's a cryptocurrency. It's a digital or virtual currency secured by a cryptography and based on a network that is distributed across a large number of computers. Again, they have zero control. The only way that they can stop this, and you're going to want, if you've been paying attention to the news, you're going to see the trend and how it all goes together. The only way that they can stop this is if they stop, block, or censor the internet. What's happening right now in the US with TikTok and Facebook and Instagram? What's happening right now in Canada with Bill C-11, where they're basically saying, if we deem your content not Canadian enough, we will block, censor, and ban you or imprison you or fine you. This is a bill that they're trying to pass and they're about to pass. If you, for the next election, if this passes, if you're voting for the opposing party, the current party can decide if, you know what, this is not Canadian enough content. This is too controversial. We'll just shut it up. So what happens? Now you've introduced a true dictatorship. Now we've basically blended into like China style. Okay. Now, to understand how the cryptocurrency works, it works with what's called a blockchain. Let's not get too involved with technical words and fancy, computer words and all this stuff. Let's just try to keep it down to the basics. How a blockchain works is in a sequence of events. Someone requests a transaction. Daniel is asking for some crypto from me. And I have crypto that I can send him. So from my computer to his computer, something has to happen in between. So there's that's where the validation happens. Each node on the network then validates the transaction. Replace the word node with a transaction request. Replace the word node with like a, computer. I'm just trying to simplify it in the most basic way possible. As long as it starts to click in your mind, then you understand that from one computer to another, a sequence of events has to happen to verify that these things are there, free from any bank or centralized governing body. It governs itself. Nobody can stop it. Nobody can block it. That's why if you send crypto to the wrong address, God bless you, there's no customer service because ain't nobody running that. Okay. What happens from there between these two interactions, it's now verified across the nodes on the network, and they make sure that the data is being distributed on the ledger meaning your wallet for argument's sake. Okay. From there, once it's verified, a block is created. A block is just like the data that is being sent. Through this sequence of events, it joins a chain of different transactions that are happening. In other words, a blockchain, and then it's added there for a forever existing list of transactions in history. So everything is documented. You can see where everything goes and whatever. No different than if you go to the bank, they can see that this money came from this person. It came from overseas. That's why it's called a wire transfer. It goes from this bank account with this institution to my account. It's a checking account. And then I'm moving it to a savings account, which has its own number. And you can trace all the money, but you can't trace like which bills were in there, even though they have serial numbers. We won't get too into that. Once it goes through this process, the transaction is complete. Voila, Daniel has his money and I have my transaction complete. Are we all following so far? Drop a 1 in the chat if you're following so far. Cool. Okay. So since we're all on the same page, you understand how this is basically free from governments, free from centralized exchanges, free from a central bank. Because right now the US dollar, Canadian dollar, the pound, francs, all these things, they are distributed or printed endlessly like funny money from a centralized exchange or a Federal Reserve or a central bank as it's known, okay? And any country that ever questions the central bank magically goes to war or gets overthrown. I mean, I'm sure it's just a coincidence, but let's continue. So on the blockchain, it's decentralized. So there's no power, there's no control. It's peer-to-peer from me to you directly with the computer in between. No one has control except you and I. If you screw up, you're on your own. And it's distributed amongst all the different computers and they all have to match up. If there's one inconsistency in the data, then something goes wrong. This is where something like NFTs comes into play. I'm just going to quickly throw this in there with NFTs because some people think, oh, it's just a picture of a monkey, picture of a penguin, picture of this and that. You know what? At face value, it is just a picture. For the love of God, don't go out there buying pictures of apes, animals, and like rings and stuff just because some influencer said so. If anything, a matter of fact, as a quick side note, if you ever see a celebrity promoting a crypto project, that's probably a good sign for you not to buy it. I'm just saying, because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's why Kim Kardashian and the Paul brothers are getting sued for promoting scams because they didn't know. They just had their money behind it. So an NFT is a non-fungible token that is basically a piece of data on the blockchain. So it's there forever. Yes, at face value, it's just a picture. So don't buy ones that are just pictures. If you can get one that has an actual real case of value, therefore giving you access to a restaurant, a club, a program, a service, music, a video, that has more than just a picture. Now you have something on the blockchain that has some type of real world value. Okay, so with cryptocurrency, it's important for you to understand that everything that's put on the blockchain is there for good. There's no like on YouTube, if you upload a video and maybe you need to re-edit it, let me just take it down and re-upload it. If it's on the blockchain, it's there. So like, don't be posting like exclusive pictures on the blockchain. That's not the place for it. If you're going to be posting things on the blockchain, it has to be things of value. It has to be some type of currency. Don't be making your own currency, because you'll see very quickly how fast you lose your money. So to sum this all up, because I don't want to trail off into NFTs, I just wanted you to see how NFTs play a role in the blockchain, because no one can control it. You can create the project of NFTs, but once it's out there, it has a mind of its own. Okay, just to keep things in simple terms. So why you would want to be taking place with cryptocurrency if you haven't already is because this is how you basically rebel with what's happening out there. This is your way of being able to take control back. It was in the news in the last few days, now that it's more in your face, about how the Middle East and all these other countries are no longer going to be using the US dollar. I need you to understand, if you have savings in US dollars, investments in US dollars, even in Canadian dollars, because like we depend on the US dollar, even the euro, pounds, like all these things, everything is backed around the US dollar. If it falls, which it's going to, I mean, I hope not, but it looks like it's going to, there has to be a shift one way or another. We can't be playing this Ponzi scheme forever. The Ponzi scheme being the world currency, because it is a Ponzi scheme. If it falls, it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. You can have $10 million. If you come to me with a briefcase full of dollars, hundreds of dollars, and it's worthless, I can't sell it anywhere. I can't even buy a loaf of bread. What good is that to me? What good is it to you? In Venezuela, when they overthrew the government, when the US overthrew it, okay? I'm not saying my American friends are bad guys. Before you guys think, because we have a lot of people from America on the team here, before you think like, I don't like Americans, it's not the case. The American people are not the issue. Okay? Y'all just live there. Y'all are just victims of what's happening. Just like us in Canada, we're victims of the government. It's a bigger game being played. All of us here are pawns to them. You understand? So we have to join together with whatever resources we have to battle back or to safeguard ourselves. And if it means something like digital currency, I'm not saying put all your money in digital currency, but if you could take some and put it in precious metals. I'm not giving financial advice, this is just what I do. Some precious metals, some in Bitcoin, some in Ethereum, some in US dollars, maybe some in some other currencies around the world. If you can hedge against what's going on, if one crashes, you know you have a safety. I've been saying to people that I've been speaking to with voice notes, I've been saying the moment that this baby crashes, I'm rich. Like, I'm excited for this to crash. You understand? Because I'm positioned for it. I want you to be positioned for this. Either way that it goes, I'm okay. I'm not worried. I'm excited because either way, I'm going to be fine. So if you can start using cryptocurrency, start with an exchange. And I'm going to end with this. An exchange, like let's say crypto.com, Coinbase, and Binance, whatever. When you purchase crypto and you buy it on an exchange, the exchange is holding your crypto. So the unique keys for your crypto, you have access to it on the exchange, but they hold your keys. So they're holding your money. Just like the bank, if tomorrow your bank closes down, they have your money. When the whole the Sam Bankman, whatever his name is, when that crashed, this is why people couldn't take their crypto out, because that exchange was holding their crypto. There's the saying that you'll hear a lot as you get into the crypto space, not your keys, not your crypto. And that's what that means. So when you can invest in what's called a ledger, which is basically like a USB drive that you can put your crypto on it, and now you own it. You don't give a damn which fails and who screwed over who and who, it makes no difference to you. If it's on your ledger, those are your keys, your crypto. On an exchange like, we could argue back and forth for those that are in the crypto exchange. Yeah, it's totally worth it. It's like $280. It's the best way to safeguard your money. We could argue back and forth about MetaMask. Some people say it's like owned by like one of the top bankers, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's a good place to start. Look, I have money on MetaMask. It is, I'm going to call it like at this moment, one of the only like user-friendly crypto decentralized exchanges that you can use. I'm not going to get into too complex ones. If you can start there, learn how to use MetaMask. It's free to download and again, have some money on MetaMask, maybe some on the ledger, maybe some on Coinbase, maybe some on crypto.com. Start moving money around, because also in the crypto space, there's scammers and stuff out there. Do not fall for any emails to say your wallet, your transactions are blocked. And it looks like Coinbase, it looks like crypto.com, it looks like MetaMask, it looks like Binance. Ain't nothing being blocked, okay, except your opportunities. So don't fall for any scams, because the moment you click on that, you're going to lose all your money. So this is why you want to hedge a little bit. And when it comes to crypto, I'm going to end with that. Start accessing the education you have in the back office. Please do not just rely on TikTok videos and YouTube videos and Instagram videos. It's great to go seek information everywhere else. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying we're the only source. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, please educate yourself. It's totally worth it. Your kids, your grandkids will thank you for it, because this isn't even about getting rich anymore. This isn't about Lamborghinis. This isn't about mansions. This isn't about yachts and stuff, which, by the way, July 7 and 8 yacht party in Miami. This isn't about any of that stuff. It really is about protecting your money, protecting your investments, and leaving a legacy for your kids and your future generations. Whatever you have to do to protect it, do what you got to do. That concludes our fundamentals for crypto. If you got some value out of today, drop a 1 in the chat, so I know that you all stuck with me. I appreciate you all staying till the end. I hope you were able to get some insights, some gems, some value. Make sure you access your back office. If you don't have the Select membership and you want to learn about crypto, make sure you upgrade to Select. If not, then just stick around with the team. Ask the questions. Please, please, please just involve yourself. I want to see you all more active. Again, my name is Edwin Zapata. I didn't even say it the first time, but you all know now. And I'll see you all in the Builders chat. Much love to everybody. Have an awesome day.